going on, everybody? It is a Monday Night Live right here on ITR Clips. Thank you very much for tuning in and joining us after a bounty of wrestling this weekend. That's not SP3 down below. It is Kenny McIntosh at this point, who was going to be joining us for the show anyway. But SP3 is on the way, so rest assured, guys, he will be joining the crew for this post-wrestling weekend breakdown. Saini Yangi in the house as well. How are we, fellas? Are we all good?
Good. I'm just trying to recover from CM Punk's press conference.
Oh, we'll get there.
It's a journey. I mean, well, we've got other press conferences to talk about as well. Do we ever?
Do we need to talk about the other one?
What do you mean?
I think we can leave that one.
AMAC, listen, one guy wanted you to acknowledge him. You didn't care about everyone else because can you acknowledge me that I'm a real human being?
I don't know if that's what you wanted.
That is what he wanted. There was how many people there? But he went, acknowledge me.
Well, I asked the question. That's what happens, I guess.
The thing is, can I defend you, Alex, a little bit? Can I just give you a bit of a defense?
It'd be great if someone did, sure. Yeah.
Because let's be honest, right? We're all like, oh my God, he acknowledged him. Oh my God. I'm with you. However, it is a no-win position.
Yeah.
You're there because when you're in that position, right, for anybody who says any shit about it, you're sitting there, right, in a press conference, and then Roman Reigns comes out, and you've got the microphone, and you have to ask a question, and then he says, with everybody watching, it's on YouTube and everything, for you to do it, you're not going to do it because you're going to be like, oh, I'm too big to do it. You're going to just like
I'm too much of a professional to do that, Roman.
You're just going to give up your opportunities for that. So you doing it, I can forgive. All the clapping and the laughing, oh God! I mean, that was vomit inducing. And the person gave you the fist pump. Fuck off! Like, come on! I mean,
midstream, like, oh dear.
Oh God! It was just so. Yeah, your thing. I think people need to understand. Like, it's a no-win situation. You have to do it. You have to play the game. You're in the situation. You do it. Everybody else would have done it.
I would have done it.
We're getting into this already. All right.
I would have done. I would have sang. I said, "You're my tribal chief." I would have tried to break him and make him laugh.
Well, no, listen. We're going to get to you having no morals or compass later on the show, that. But we've got time for that, don't we?
For me, right? When it was like it first happened or whatever. So I'm just. Kenny wasn't in the room. Full transparency. We were meant to have someone from Inside the Ropes with me, but it didn't happen for various reasons.
Well, it happened because of one person, but not
yeah. Well, again, all right, okay. But so what they do is just before the press conference starts. So we don't know who's coming, right? They didn't say who was going to be there. For all we knew, it was just a Triple H press conference. Then they say, who wants to ask questions? And I'm thinking Triple H. I'm like, yeah, sure. I've got loads of stuff to ask Triple H. So there's like loads of us who said yes. So they put those in the first two rows. Okay. So then they go, okay, we're going live. Byron Saxton, Roman walks in. The guy literally comes up to me. I don't know if you can, I haven't watched it back. So I don't know, if the guy, you can see it, but he literally comes next to me and he like hands me the mic and he says in my ear and he's like, you're next. I'm like, what? Like, one, I didn't know Roman was coming. And two, it's like, now. So he gave it to me and then it's like, yeah, first question. You're like, fuck, what am I going to say? So then I asked, it's not even a bad question, to be honest, that I asked him. Even if I had time, I might have thought about it. And then he sits there. Obviously, he sits there for what felt like about 5 minutes. And I feel like everybody's staring at me, and I'm like, oh my God. And I'm just wondering the many ways he might decide to crap on me. And then he did what he did. And honestly, obviously, it's fully in character. And I thought it was kind of fun, right? I didn't realize till I tweeted about it, and then everyone going, oh, UK journalism. I thought, come on. Like, Jesus Christ, taking it a bit seriously, I thought. It wasn't that deep at all. It's not like, you got to remember, like, it's a WWE thing. He's in character. It's not like I could have asked him a real question. I could have asked him anything, and that was probably what was going to happen, right? So I didn't really, I've got to say, I was a bit surprised by some of the online reaction. Everyone close to me and the vast majority of others were really cool. They were like, that was funny
proud.
Or whatever. Yeah. I was a bit,
I didn't see the reaction. I was like, I was gonna take a picture of it. Oh my gosh, my friends on screen. Like, there's a camera on you, him, Roman begging you. He's like, can you acknowledge me? Like, I'm real.
I don't know if he begged.
He did. That's what happened. Where are you?
I'm in America now, guys.
Are you really?
Woo!
He's out of the He's out of the cupboard. He's been for like 2 months.
There's no more Louis Vuitton because you can't afford it with the healthcare.
Exactly. I can't afford it in
Can I just
America.
say, I do. So, SPD, I'm sorry, but I do feel bad for you, Alex, because I think what people don't realize sometimes is when you do the whole journalism thing, it's like, and you do it with WWE, it's like it's a tough gig. It's a tough gig because you don't know what you're getting. And if Roman Reigns comes out and he's in character, internally you're going to be like, oh God, because like 90% of what you could ask him is gone. You're not going to get anything. So then it's like, and you also, he's not, because you were the first question, right? So like he's not answered anything already. So it's not like you knew he was going to be.
Couldn't read what was going to happen, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that would have been nice because I got a lot of texts about that, like, oh no, was this a bit? I think Sid even said that was like, did you know what was going to happen? I was like, I literally had no clue. They literally just gave me the microphone. Obviously, it would have been nice if I was clued up, but at the end of the day, I still didn't think it was a big deal. I thought it was funny at the time. It was only after. It was only after a couple of people replied on Twitter that I thought, oh, they're taking it a bit serious, aren't they?
The thing is, like, I'll say this. I'll just say this is how I feel about it. This is not Alex talking. The thing is, if you want to do WWE interviews and you want to do WWE media, wrestling media, AEW, anywhere, you have to play the game of what it is. That's the way that it is. So you either play it or you don't. You get in or you don't. And it's like these people who kind of go, well, I'm sure that like if you're somebody who is like won a Pulitzer Prize, you're not going to acknowledge Roman Reigns, right? But like we're not exactly curing cancer here on this. We're doing a fun thing. So I think people just need to chill out a bit.
Yeah.
I like again. I did. If anything, I was. He's like we and Kenny joked about this after. It's not as if I went, "We the ones, baby." Like I did that. Like it could have been a lot fucking worse.
You called yourself an honorary oos.
Yeah, well, I was. Come on,
you are. You acknowledged him.
But that's what I mean. Like I didn't think it was like that deep, basically. And anyway, like I kind of just put on a banger of a performance, as I kind of mentioned in the question. Like amazing in front of that kind of crowd. Like I acknowledge that. Of course, I acknowledge it, and I always in jest acknowledge him online anyway. So, sort of like Kenny says, not like I was there doing deep dive journalism. Technically, I'm not even a reporter anymore. I'm an editor. I don't actually go out and do that. I was just there as a podcast host, really. If you want to get into the semantics of it, but I don't think, I was very surprised at some of the reaction, but I'm not, it's all good. Like, I didn't expect like yesterday, everyone is tagging me in like the clips that WWE put, and I think, oh, for fuck's sake, like not as if I wanted to go viral over this. But it is what it is. It's fun. I still think it's fun. Wrestling's meant to be fun. I really don't care if people want to make it any deeper than that. But anyway, Sat, speaking of deeping stuff, I think there's something you need to tell everyone, isn't there? Because for those that are uninformed or have not read the tweet that was put out today, this is Sat's last, for now, Monday Night Live. Explain to people why this is, young Sat.
So I went home to see my mum. She said I look miserable. She said, you lost your smile. So guys, I need to go home for a bit and find my smile. So that's why I have to take a sabbatical for now. Like there's no great explanation to give everyone. I just have to go and find my smile. Find the boy. I'm taking my ball going home. I'm going to film Scorpion King. I'm going to WCW. I'm Poochie. I'm going back to my planet. I'm refusing to do business.
WCW is a more accurate representation of it. True. Maybe mid-2000s.
This is the house show. This is the curtain call, guys. This is I bid you as adieu. I'll see you guys. I don't know, whenever. It's awkward. Listen, I've had a great time doing this show.
Awkward. It's not.
It's awkward for me because I love this show, so I can't even kayfabe this. I'm not kayfaber. Who I am. Listen, I'm so transparent to the point where it's almost horrible. I love doing the show with you guys, but other opportunities have come along. Couldn't turn it down. Kenny McIntosh has been sending me evils and has promised me he's gonna cut off my balls, maybe.
We're never going to speak again. This is the last time. I'm going to unfollow you on Twitter when the credits are going to
please don't do this.
Wise decision.
What? SB, don't do this. You go to America. You were so polite like the last 3 months you've been here, and all of a sudden you go to New York and you get your swag back.
SB was
Some
all
of that New York air.
Yeah, it's gonna be you guys doing it from now on until I come back.
Look, don't worry about this show. Tell the people where they can find you if they want to support you and what you're going to be doing, man. Come on.
I am at Wrestle Talk Saturdays.
Kenny.
I'll do Saturdays at Wrestle Talk. Details to be ironed out, but that's where you're gonna find me. I haven't completely fallen off the grid, but yeah, that's where I'm gonna be for the foreseeable future. That's gonna be the only thing you're gonna see me on. Possibly.
You like Brock Lesnar when he signed the SmackDown exclusive contract in 2002. That's you. Stephanie's dragged you in the limo.
I do feel we need to work on your delivery a bit, Sat, because it's maybe not the best way to sort of go, I do not want to leave, and I'm in tears. By the way, I'm going to Wrestle Talk. I mean, G up a wee bit. You're going to Wrestle Talk. G up. Look happy.
You've been given an exclusive deal, brother. They made a big play to come and get you.
They're in London. They're in the big city. Not the Big Apple. What, the Big Pear? Whatever London.
Yeah, I've got
Big Apple.
And I do just want to say I did make an offer, right? I don't have Wrestle Talk's money. I can't give the offer, but what I did offer was a 1-bedroom flat in Glasgow, in Govan Hill, which is the highest sex trafficking area in Europe. So I was able to get a cheap deal there, and I offered you a food allowance. At least 1 chippy a week. Wasn't enough. So I tried, but I wish you all the success in what you're going to be doing. I'll be supporting you.
Listen, I can't believe you would have turned that offer down, to be honest, Sat. What's wrong with you?
I love my brothers. Like that's the truth. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the opportunity you gave me. You gave a guy who squirted baby oil on his chest, dancing to Gigolo, Jimmy Del Rey. That's true, Kenny. That's what happened. He gave this guy the opportunity, and I wouldn't get the offer that I have now if you didn't choose me. So that's why it's hard to walk away. It's easy to make up BS, but I didn't want to do that because that's not who I am. I love doing the show with you guys. But like you guys said, I'm gonna go on and do stuff, and then it's not the end. You guys are my friends. I love doing this show. I love the fact that I can swear and say fuck.
We're not monetized yet. You're all right. But
another exclusive, yeah. And Kenny, and now that I have you here, thank you so much for taking a chance on me. And I got to meet him in person. He's an incredible guy. So yeah,
we bonded over bad Madonna movies.
Yes.
There are many.
Yes,
you two did bond very quickly. It was an instant chemistry. I'm gonna say it. It
in
was.
the pictures. We got pictures.
The fact that before I'd finished saying hello to him, he had his arms around me. I didn't really have a choice about how well we were going to get on. I've had relationships around new people less before I was fondled, but it's fine.
I'm very handsy, yeah. Alex will tell you,
but not in like a I'm going to call a number kind of way to get support. It's a good handsy.
He's a big bloke, though. He's a big bloke. He likes to say everyone else is big, but he's a big motherfucker, old Sat.
Yes.
Congratulations.
I'm short. So.
Very happy for you. I'm sure you'll do well. You got to go where things take you. So well done. Good luck. Support, Sat.
Yes, be happy, Sat. Like you are very talented. This is well deserved. I'm very happy for you, and I know this is just the start because you're gonna keep being successful, and you're a person that just has that type of charm and that type of energy that everybody wants a piece of you. So now they have you exclusively over there.
Yeah, man. I'd said, and I was only saying this to Tom Talks Rubbish. I'm sure he'll love that plug. The other week, man, like I knew. There was so much more for you, more opportunities ahead, man. I'm so proud to see what you've done already. And this is just a testament, man. The charisma is unstoppable. And you've done a great job, man, in the short time that you've been doing this. So be proud. You should be proud. Be excited. Either excited, ecstatic, all of that good stuff.
And last thing I want to say, Last thing I want to say, Sat, is I hate soppiness and I hate overly emotional stuff, so that's quite difficult. So I will close it with saying there's only two places you'll be able to find Sat from now on. That's Wrestle Talk and my wank bag. That's the only places that you will be able to see Sat. Nowhere else.
I love this.
Very
guy.
well
Thank
said.
you.
I mean, I can't
See how long
say
it
I've-
takes you to get wank back in over there. You won't get
Yeah,
that in. You won't be able to say
yeah.
that.
That word does not exist.
Yeah.
I mean,
bring that
Sat,
one up.
Sat, I love you, but I mean, I can't say I've jacked it to you, but I love you, man. You're still my guy.
Wait, I don't. Wait. If Kenny can do it, everyone else, no, please don't. Kenny's allowed. We don't do that.
Kenny's
He's
allowed. My
He's
God.
got consent now. There you go.
Oh, he didn't need consent, but yeah, it's there. It's on video.
This is taking a turn, lads. I think we should probably move this along.
What, Mary fuck kill? I
We
can't be
all
for Mary
agree
fuck
consent.
kill.
You
I
save
can't
those. Save those. Listen, for the people that have tuned in, there was a lot that happened at the weekend. And I feel like we have to kind of jump into CM Punk. We have to, right? SB3 is here.
You were there.
So, and he was there. It's funny that we're not even really talking about the match. Let's talk about what happened after the match. SB3, give us the rundown of the post-media scrum, and then we'll talk about what happened in the backstage area, allegedly.
Yeah, so basically CM Punk opened the post-media scrum and he was not in a good mood. I believe Nick Hausman was the first person to have was supposed to have a question, but Punk just took his presence, being someone that he's known from Chicago, and he started asking him, "Are you friends with Scott Colton?" And he hasn't want anything to do with Scott Colton for nearly a decade, for possibly even longer than that. He brought up their
Before you go any further, break it down for people who Scott Colton is. Not everyone will be aware.
Scott Colton is the real name of Colt Cabana. So Colt Cabana, the CM Punk, the whole issues that started off with Hangman Adam Page during the promo 3 weeks ago, it stems from Hangman Adam Page, in Punk's mind, going into business for himself, mentioning the relationship between him and Colt Cabana being the reason why Cabana is no longer part of the Dark Order and AEW and is now exclusively with Ring of Honor. So Punk decided that he wanted to address all of this. He said that brought up the whole lawsuit that they had to one another, and basically he says if there's the two people that's made the most money off the name CM Punk is Vince McMahon and Scott Colton, Colt Cabana. So he basically says that it was the EVPs who couldn't hit a target that handled this whole situation improperly, and were feeding it to wrestling journalists who came out with the whole story that CM Punk is the reason why this happened to Colt Cabana. He dragged out all his business with Scott Colton, with paying him, with the countersuit, with suing his mother because he shares a bank account with his mother, Marsha. Little old Marsha. I legitimately thought I was listening to an ether rap. I thought I was listening to that's Dead Alive from like Eminem or something. So like it was weird how this was like escalated as more went on, and then he brought up more about the EVPs, saying that we're running a business here and they're still acting like they're from Reseda. He brought up Hangman Adam Page not wanting to take advice from anybody, being an empty-headed idiot, and then just completely dragged Scott Colton, Colt Cabana in the mud. And then after the fact, I guess Alex will go into what we found out at Fightful Select, because there were security guards running out of the media scrum and trying to handle a situation that transpired out of what CM Punk had to say about the EVPs and the Elite. So you can go ahead with the Fightful report, Alex.
All right. Sorry, my child has prevented me from setting these things up. But I do have the Fightful Select reports on it now. Just to read from the email, obviously you just went over what was going on in the post-show scrum. He was running down the history of Cabana, etc., etc. After the scrum, talent informed Fightful that Kenny Omega and Young Bucks were extremely pissed off, is the quote, and one claimed that they were threatening to walk over his comments. Fightful Select has heard that prior that at least one of the Young Bucks had been in contact with talent outside of AEW, indicating that many of the rumors heard about Punk and the frustration around him were true. We're told the Elite were scheduled for the scrum, but an adjustment was made, naturally, after Punk's comments. Around then, security went from the scrum area in a hurry. There are videos of that on Twitter if you guys haven't seen. One guy making a dash backstage. And we've learned that if that was related to the situation, sorry, we haven't learned if that's related to the situation, but all of this information filtered in at the same time. Obviously, as far as I'm aware, Fightful were in the room. So I guess they were just picking up things as they went. Furthermore, on that note, they're saying, is it at work? Isn't it? Blah, blah, blah. Other people, other outlets, correct me if I'm wrong here, you can tell me who said this, SB3, but then they're saying that there was an altercation that followed between Punk and the Young Bucks primarily. There are very different versions of events that I've seen online. I'm going to be completely transparent. I haven't even watched all of the scrum yet. I've only watched the first hour of All Out. You may have seen on Twitter, I've had some bad family news, so I haven't been in the wrestling world as much as I would like. But I have seen some of these things flying around. So if anybody want to fill in the gaps about what happens next, feel free. But the reports are that Punk and the Bucks got into it, essentially.
Yeah, so the security guard ran through the media scrum after Swerve and Argoli sat down for the media scrum. This was immediately after CM Punk had talked, and then word started going around like the media scrum, and people started kind of doing like a telephone of someone got word that someone got word that someone got word, and basically what they heard was that CM Punk and the Young Bucks had an altercation, and apparently CM Punk swung on the Young Bucks is the story that came out, that what happened backstage. I don't know if anybody else had like reports about it, but that's what I heard from a couple of different people, and I was actually staying pretty close to where the talent was at. It was very weird in that area over there as well. So yeah, it was very awkward after that whole conversation with CM Punk and airing that whole situation out. And then to hear about like they basically usually after a AEW pay-per-view, what I've seen is that it's kind of like a celebration and they're all happy, successful show. Wasn't that vibe yesterday. It was very much like this has shifted everything and the vibe is just totally off. And now you have your top star in a real life beef. I won't even say a feud, a rivalry, a real life beef with the EVPs of the company.
Kenny, where do we go from here, man? Seriously, where do we go? And let's also comment on Tony Khan, where he sits in all this, because there's been several clips of like his face when some of the things Punk says, particularly the EVPs. Like he wasn't clued into it all. Clearly, like a lot of this, he was quite shocked that Punk would say out loud. It would seem a lot of it. Again, I've only seen the clips and a lot of the internet kind of reaction to it, but it seemed like chaos.
Yeah, I mean, there's some people saying, "Is it a work?" It's not a work. It's just like it's not a work at all. I actually felt really sorry for Tony Khan in the press conference, which I mean, but it's kind of he needs to take responsibility here for this. Like he has let this get to this point, and like I like Tony Khan. I've had nothing but good interactions with him, but like you can't on one hand be like Booker of the Year, mate. How's it going? And then in the other one have all this happen. And I mean, when you watch Punk, I feel like something has happened. And it's funny. And now this is easy for me to say, right? But I was talking to my other half, who her name is Steve Gunn to keep his anonymity, Alex. But I was talking to him about your press conference thing, and I actually said, I would love to have been at that AEW press conference. I would have been first in line to get to Punk after that. And he was, "What would you have said?" And I was like, I would have just asked him. I would have been like, he keeps bringing it up. He keeps bringing the EVPs up. Somebody should have just said, "What's happened with you and the Young Bucks?" He kept talking about it. He kept bringing it up, and everyone was trying to get him away from it. And it's like he clearly wanted to talk about it. The problem that they're going to have is I don't think they're going to be able to coexist, all of them together, the Bucks and Omega and Punk in the same place. But Punk's your world champion. He's your biggest star. And you've got a TV deal to renew in December, potentially. And then the Bucks and Omega are like, they're who your hardcores love. You know, they're almost like the Undertaker of AEW because that's who you associate. So, and then you've got the element where Eddie Kingston got suspended for pie-facing Sammy Guevara, and now CM Punk has been trying to punch EVPs. I will say, I don't know if I've ever heard a better burn or a better read than they couldn't manage a target. It killed me. I died dead. It was just the drama of it is kind of, you have to try and enjoy some of the drama of it because it's wrestling, but it's weird. To me, something's happened that we don't know about recently. Not just Adam Page going off script in May. And you got to remember, like, and I'm not defending CM Punk here. I know people have got their sides. But if Punk's saying his problem is that Page went off script first, right? That's what he's saying is the crux of the issue. Page said on national TV, the Go Home Show for Double or Nothing, you're the champion out here, but you're not a champion for the people in the locker room. And I want to protect AEW from people like you. That is 100% a line about Cabana. That is what it's about. There's no way you can read anything else into that. So if he decided to do that and didn't speak to Punk about it, I get why Punk is pissed about it. So, yeah, Punk did the receipt back. But at that point, Tony Khan should have been like, right, it's 1-1. Get in the room. Let's do an angle. Let's do something. Let's build something here. Not then Tony Khan to be saying, oh, it's great that they all don't go on because that makes for better TV. And it's like, and I was talking to somebody today and they were saying, this is kind of like Punk is a bit like Shawn Michaels in 1997. But the difference is there was a Vince in 1997. And Vince would not let this shit fly at all. So to me, the fact that Tony Khan's let it get, he had a talent meeting 2 weeks ago where Eddie Kingston was basically the butt of the jokes, and Eddie Kingston's not the problem. He's nowhere near the problem. So to me, so I know I'm monopolizing the time, right? But the last thing I want to say was, I don't think Tony Khan. People say, "Oh, he should have done something." It's like, what is he? He can't sit in a press conference and go, "Punk, shut up." Like, what's he gonna do? So now we're in a position where, what is he? He has to do something, and I don't know what he does. I can't think of what he's gonna do to fix this.
I mean, we made this point last week, right? The Sammy and Eddie problem stemmed from a promo, right? Where we all laud this. Let's not script promos. Let's make it real, right? And it's better that way. And it seems the Punk and Page problems, although have deep roots elsewhere with Colt Cabana and all of that good stuff, it stems from what was said on air. Now, characterize it however you like. I'm not a massive fan of robotic scripted promos in WWE, but there has to be a happy medium because clearly in AEW right now, this is not us reading into it. This is what the talent are saying. The promos are causing great problems between people, and then for some reason it's not being addressed right after it happens. It's just it's been allowed to fester and get worse. That doesn't seem like a smart call on anyone's behalf.
Adam Page, could he not have just went up to CM Punk in May and said, "Look, I've got this great line I'm thinking about, and it'd be really good because we can draw some money with it. People think it's a bit Cabana. That's not how I feel, or whatever." But then Page, and I like Page. Like, he's funny on Twitter and stuff, and he's a good wrestler. But like, I thought it was pretty disrespectful when he was saying in interviews, "I don't need help from veterans." Like, I thought that was poor from him. So I get why people think CM Punk's really frustrating, or I get that he could be a frustrating presence. But I also get why, if you're Punk, the Page thing could frustrate you.
Yeah, you could see how this unfolded. SB3, are you trying to say something before I go to Seth?
Yeah, no, I was just going to say that Kenny makes a good point. I want to know what's the conversation that happened before this, because there has to be a conversation in some way, because you can have the whole team meeting, but everybody said coming out of it, the one thing that wasn't brought up is CM Punk. So either the conversation happened and it didn't go well, or there was no conversation for what we got in the post-show scrum.
Yeah, I wonder, like you said, the EVP's part of it, I wasn't even really aware of until last night, right? All I had understood via reports was Page and Punk, but I guess Page still really is good friends with the EVP, so maybe there's a spillover. You don't know how all that works. So how do you read the situation, man?
I thought it was great, to be honest. Like,
you would.
No, because it's for the simple fact that for once you got a wrestler who didn't sugarcoat it. You usually get no comments or can't talk about it right now. There's other things as mentioned in the press conference, like Malachi Black doing the bow, which I didn't see on the show, but apparently happened to the people in the arena. SP could
Yeah.
confirm it.
Did he kiss
And
goodbye as well? Did he blow a kiss or something?
He basically by the guardrail he hugged the other members of House of Black, so everybody started like, oh, what's going on here? And then he started going around to every side of the ring and was like kissing like that. And then when he got up onto the stage, he bowed to the crowd. Everybody, cheered for him, and it looked like a goodbye.
Oh man.
And then you also got Tony Storm saying that, yeah, Thunder Rosa says she's injured. So there's so many things going on. I prefer, because that's what people pay Fightful for, right? The $5 on Patreon, because you want to get the scoops. So we're getting the scoops in front of us for free, and people want to complain about it. I don't mind, because CM Punk's an honest person. You want CM Punk? You've got CM Punk. If CM Punk didn't answer it, people would have been mad as well. But the fact that he's airing out what he feels his grievances, I have no issue with that. The only issue I had is that Tony is in a tough predicament, which he needs to get himself out, because CM Punk set the precedent. Everyone started following. Even Swerve, he was in character, but he was a bit salty when they asked him, hey, should you have lost the title tonight? Some idiot asked him, stupid question. So now people are like, if CM Punk can do it, I can do it too. So Tony needs to grow some balls and lay the law down, because it's going to be like the inmates are running the asylum and they're torching the place. So
the question I would have asked in that press conference if I was there with Punk, because he kept bringing it up, is I would have said, where did the Young Bucks feed stuff to media to make you feel this way? Because this is all new. We knew the page thing, but when did it come out that the Bucks have passed that information on?
I think like what I got from it is that he's alluding to the Bucks feeding Meltzer and Alvarez, because that's who he kept mentioning. He was like, "Oh, right, Dave." All right, Dave. And then out of nowhere, Brian Alvarez wasn't even asking a question, and he was like, "Yo, Brian Alvarez, what do you think about that?" He was like, "Oh yeah." He was like, "I saw a video of you where you were incredulous about what I had to say about Hangman Page. What about what Hangman had to say to me? What did I do wrong?" Like we called them out basically. And I think on Observer Radio, Alvarez and Meltzer were like, they weren't even gonna go to the presser. They spoke to Khan on Observer Radio, and then Meltzer at the end told him, I'll come to the presser. And then he comes to the presser and they're the target of CM Punk.
Do you know what's one thing that's like a shame though is that like with AEW, this should not be what we're talking about today. Like we should be talking about, because to your point, Sat, it is great that
we haven't even mentioned MJF yet.
We're probably not even going to get to Clash at the Castle like 10 years ago. But like the thing is like CM Punk doing that, like your point, Sat, was CM Punk's really good for speaking up, right? But like we're not going to see that CM Punk on TV in feuds. We're going to see the character doing the scripted programs. So it's like,
and calling people fat.
Yeah, like what's he building? He's supposed to be the babyface against MJF coming up, but like in these interviews, he doesn't come across as like, I don't want to go and hug Phil at this point. I'm like, oh fuck, Phil might scream at me next. I need to stay away.
I get it though. He's being a very polarizing guy that he is. I guess he does have to tolerate a lot of shit online, warranted or not. It will get to most men, I would assume. Let's dial it back to what Kenny just said there. All Out as a show. Sat, you watched it. What are your thoughts, man? Just give us the high points that people might be missing in lieu of press conference drama.
Okay, Jamie Hayter, she shone in the Fatal 4-Way, is leading to Britt and Jamie split, because it happened where Britt took advantage of Jamie Hayter and was trying to pin her. So Jamie was over. She was the babyface of the match. There's a huge Jamie cheer. The tag team title match went on for too long. It felt like it was designed to look how well the Acclaim can do in long matches. It went on for too long to the point I was like, is this still going on? So the tag team match was okay. The Acclaim was over, like Rover. They should have won the title. So that's a mishap there. Hobbs won. Hobbs beat Starks. That was shocking.
In 5 minutes.
I know. Christian, Luchasaurus turns on Jungle Boy. No one saw that coming. That was shocking to no one. You numpty. He's wearing his heel mask. You know, he's quite slow at
It's Elon
catching
Musk.
people. Yeah, all the subtle hints were there. The Joker won the I wouldn't say Money in the Bank, but wherever the Casino Royale
ladder match.
chip.
ladder match, the
The
chip. It was the
Casino
chip.
Royale.
Casino Royale, Battle Royale, and yeah, Stokely shaved for some weird reason. There's all these group of mid-carders that MJF is surrounding himself with, so I can't wait to see what happens there. And then you had the main event, Punk won, whoop-de-doo. That's my surmise.
Right. No Danielson or Jericho for you. Okay, then.
Oh, I wanted to skip it so bad, but I watched it. Good performance. Jericho's had back-to-back bangers, so good for him. But his pants
All right.
kept falling down. His
Oh,
pants.
yeah, he's having problems.
Yeah. Jocks
Yeah.
watch.
All right. SB3. Anything? Oh, sorry. Go on, Kenny. What you got?
I just want to show you something, right? This
Okay.
here is a big roll of sellotape, right? You can use this to pack boxes. You can use this to tape things.
Christmas presents, sure.
Christmas presents, birthday presents. You know, if someone comes off the sofa, you want to. This piece of sellotape has 10 times more charisma than Toni Storm ever will in her life. She is the dullest character I have ever seen. I
Kenny,
mean,
she wasn't like this before in WWE.
Ever?
She showed charisma.
Ever?
She showed charisma more
Come on.
when she first came on
I would say,
SmackDown. Yeah.
I would say her WWE run sucked the charisma out of her because when she was on the independent scene,
Yeah, she was charismatic. She was quirky
Yeah.
in a delivery.
that's,
When
this
she
is
did a
what I
promo.
hear. But where is it? Alex, name someone duller than Toni Storm character-wise in wrestling today.
Don't put me in that position, man.
Wait,
That's fine. You can be the nice guy about it.
Yeah. Come on. I've had a
Is it
bad
because she
week
said
with it.
this? I'm going to be the next AEW Women's Champion.
Oh, so hang on. So when did she say the Thunder Rosa line? Again, I haven't seen.
Oh, at the scrum.
during the
When
media scrum.
Yeah, during the media scrum.
Ah.
She goes that Thunder Rosa says she's injured. says underscore
says
says
she's injured. Okay.
when she comes back, I'm gonna beat her anyway. So it's like, what? A tag team partner? No.
like she sounds salty. She felt like I mean, the way it came off, it sounded like Thunder Rosa knew she was gonna lose, so she says she's injured. So I'm still gonna beat her when she comes back. That's basically how it came off.
I feel
AEW.
I feel sorry for Tony and the women in AEW because the booking is just it's not doing Andy any favors. It's the same cycle of you bring in a baby face. Athena, like she had before All Out, she'd been in the company 3 months. She had wrestled in Dynamite once, I think.
Mhm.
A singles once, wasn't it? And that wasn't that only really happened after everyone pointed out that it hadn't happened.
Yeah, and it's
No,
and
I don't
like,
think she had a singles on Dynamite.
No?
I think she had one tag match on Dynamite,
That's it,
but
that's
all her stuff was on Rampage. All her singles matches.
And like it's like the most popular woman in the roster is Britt Baker, but the problem is like none of the other women get the time and the opportunity to get themselves to a Britt Baker level. But then you won't turn Britt Baker heel, so we're in just this constant loop of a woman comes in, she gets built up, she gets beat, she's on dark, she gets brought up, and it's like so we've got all these women. You know, we get the Anna Jays, the Ty Mellos, the Ruby Sohos, the Athenas, and it's like they're just all on this level. You know, there's not, and that's not their fault. Like, I mean, if you look at, remember that great match on Rampage? It was Rampage last year, the tag team hardcore match with
Penelope Ford and
Yeah.
and all that. That was great. Yeah, it was
And the
great.
that was
Yeah.
great. But like, what? None of these women are featured. Where's Penelope Ford? Like, where did she
was
improved?
injured for a bit. She was injured for a bit. That's what I heard.
She only
Yeah,
just came
and
back
she
the
just
other
came
week.
back.
I saw her post the other week saying she just came back. What are you doing?
Yeah,
She's got a
she
scoop.
came back and then she lost to Athena on Rampage.
Yeah.
I think that was like her only big matchup. But yeah, they kind of have kept everybody at the same level. Where honestly, I wanted Britt Baker to win because I want this story between Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter to kind of get progressed. And Jamie Hayter was the most over of anybody. Like she came in as kind of this underdog heel, but she has this charisma to her. She shows off the strength, so the fans got behind her. So that's why I wanted Britt to win because I feel that's a better setup for Jamie to win the title. And plus, with the interim championship, they told the story of a dominant interim champion with Jon Moxley. They told the story of a short one where Sammy wins it, and then the next week is the unification matchup. Now they need one where the interim title kind of gets swapped out. I think if someone loses the interim championship, then it feels more like a championship belt, and it doesn't make it just predictable. Oh, the person who wins the interim championship is probably going to win against the champion in the unification match.
You've got to say with the lady, like, I mean, like, I whether I'm reading Twitter wrong or not, like Britt Baker's kind of getting that Charlotte Flair heat in a way, you know, because she's just in that same spot. I mean by that, where people are like, "Oh, Britt Baker again," but like, you know, again, as Kenny said, we've kind of found ourselves in these different brackets. I really thought the women's division was going to kind of explode after the Thunder Rosa Britt Baker, the origins of that feud, right? That felt like we were onto something really special then. And you've got to say, talent-wise, they've picked up enough great talent over the past year or so.
The Thunder Rosa title reign, it's got to be considered a flop of a reign, not because she's not a good wrestler or she can't perform, but like none of the stuff clicked. You know, there was the weird kind of Vicky Guerrero thing when she won the belt where they had that weird promo. And then it's just like, I always think that the least interesting part of wrestling is wrestling matches. And the only reason those wrestling matches become really interesting is because you are behind. So look at the crowd in Cardiff with Drew. They were so deflated because they loved Drew and they wanted him to win, and it's like they were behind him because they've been telling that story of his rise and the fall, the COVID, and all that. So I feel like with the women, it's just they don't get as much time, and you're going to need to do 10 times more work with them than you do with the guys to get them to be at half the level of where the guys are. Not because of them, but because typically they just don't get enough time.
You mean from an investment standpoint, if anything? Like
because like a lot of the male talent who come in have already had these established characters on like WWE or whatever. But let's take a Ruby Soho. Ruby Soho came in, she'd been underutilized in WWE, so she needed a lot of focus so that people could get behind her. And then she got beat by Britt Baker in a month. No, 2 weeks. All Out, she won the match, and then she lost at Grand Slam. So it's I don't know how they're going to fix it.
I hope Ruby's okay, by the way. I did see that clip. That was fucking nasty, the way she was dropped. But alas. Sid, any final thoughts on All Out as you were there in the arena before we move on? Is anything to note that you saw firsthand?
I really love the main event. Like I was on the floor for this show, and like I didn't sit down that entire main event, and there was people that were stoutly, for Jon Moxley in the crowd, but the overwhelming thing was CM Punk kind of being the hometown hero. They were rallying behind him, but just the action, the storytelling, the fact that it was a Moxley match and he wasn't the one with the crimson mask, that I love subverting my expectations. I wasn't expecting that. That made for the match. Punk's comeback was amazing and tremendous, and the finish was great with the go to sleep, go on your knees, then have to stand up, show that fight, and then hit one more go to sleep to get the win. This was a program that put over both guys, because Moxley doesn't lose anything from losing this matchup because he destroyed Punk. It's just 1-1 now. Punk made his comeback. It's 1-1 now, and you can come back to that. I don't think it's hurt Jon Moxley's year, which I put him in like the top 5 wrestler of the year so far. He's come out of this program, even though he's losing in the end, looking like the monster and the top guy in the business. The trios match, the storytelling, the callbacks, love all that stuff. That's a matchup for anyone who says the Elite doesn't like to tell stories. They told people stories in that matchup. Yeah, of course. They still say that. They still say that. But that finish was brilliant. I love the way they think about wrestling. The tournament that Hangman Adam Page didn't even want to be in, he had to come in for his friends, the guys he was backing in the Dark Order, and he's the reason why they lost with the buckshot lariat. So now the Young Bucks can either go back to being baby faces and reforming with this thing, or they could come off as heels and be like, whether you said yes or no to the trios tournament, we won because of you, Hangman. And this brings out the anxious millennial cowboy. So
no. All right, let's with the last 10-15 here, we should give Clash of the Castle its time. And it to be honest, it deserves more than just being a footnote of a show, because it was a great show. It's just the drama that surrounds wrestling has obviously taken over. But Kenny and I, of course, were in attendance in Wales. I've got to say, from an atmosphere standpoint, I can't think of many better shows I've been to. Very reminiscent of, some of the on-fire takeovers during that 2 or 3 year spell. Sheamus and Gunther, Like if you know what we got with Drew in the main event and that atmosphere, that was obviously amazing. But the prelude to that, I would say, was Sheamus and Gunther, and like they really set the table there. Like the ovation Sheamus got after the match, you know, like I don't think he's ever quite got anything like that in his career, right? It's kind of like almost the apex for Sheamus, you could argue. There was a lot of banger matches going on. It was cool to see the Dominic heel turn go down with Ray, the same sort of clothesline that Eddie hit once upon a time. You know, kicking the nuts for Edge. The Finn Balor reaction was hilarious. I say all of this to just make the point. It wasn't the house show that many of us were worried it would be. I mean, I never really was, but it was a common thought online. Just, you know, is it just like a super showdown? Are they just going to come over and whatever? It did feel like they paid homage to the 30 years since SummerSlam. Bret Hart was in the house, you know. It did feel like they actually tried to move things forward and make, you know, big moments, memorable moments on this show. You know, you can nitpick things, but I think a lot of a lot of British fans will be happy with what happened this weekend. And it seems like we're going to get an annual deal. So, Kenny, what did you take away from it being there, man, and what unfolded at the Principality Stadium?
Yeah, I think it was unfortunate timing that so many injuries happened in the kind of summer months that meant that, you know, we didn't get Cody, we didn't get Randy Orton, or we didn't whatever.
Becky.
I mean, Becky as well. But really, if you take away Ronda and Brock, and I mean, Ronda's not exactly setting the world on fire right now. You know, it's getting there with the anti-authority stuff, but it's still kind of bubbling, right? So really, Brock's the only one that you didn't get. And the card was kind of similar to SummerSlam in terms of level of card and stuff. So I thought they did a really good job. The show I thought was great. I did think they made a mistake not putting the belt on Drew for a month.
Would you have said that beforehand, though? Like,
Yeah.
Is it what happened? Like, to me, being there, and I think I tweeted this, like, as it went along, I thought, yeah, I could totally buy it now if they do it. But beforehand, I was like, I don't know.
I thought before, I was like, give it to him for a month. Like, I don't think he's not going to be the guy to have two belts, but I think if you had him win here and then do the Solo Sikoa stuff at Extreme Rules, you know, get Roman to just do one more match. I just think with Roman winning, what is, you know, we've got till Mania now. You're not going to give the Cody match away or the Rock match away. So who's he going to face between now and Mania? How many times is he going to be around? And also, I think the best tweet that I saw was, and again, Clash of the Castle was a great show, and I'm not taking away from it. Like, Edge's reaction that he got was amazing. The card was so good.
Decent.
Yeah. But at the same time, I think if they had put the belt on Drew for a month, I think people would be talking about this event for 20 years, 30 years. I don't think people will be talking about this event much in 2 to 3 years compared to what they would have before. I don't think the card is going to be one that you know, always go on about. But I think people would have been like, I was there when that happened.
Sat, what do you think, man?
Before I begin, did you meet my brother by any chance?
So I did text him beforehand. There were text exchange, but I don't think we didn't get the chance, man. I didn't hear from him during his Wales excursion.
Typical. Yes. Anyway, I said that I shouldn't bury him on live on camera. The show was good. Dominic, I want to talk about Dominic for a bit. I didn't want him to turn heel. I really didn't. I felt like the missing piece was him wearing a mask. All you need to do is put a mask on him. It would have been great. He's a bland person without the mask. I understood. That's why they're jeering him. But he needed the mask. I wanted Prince Mysterio. Now they're going to do the whole Sandman, ECW, Raven storyline where what? Finn Balor's his daddy now? And like, you know, Rhea's his mommy. And then what? He turned face again at WrestleMania. They're going to do Elizabeth and Macho Man and reunite. Then he puts on the mask. I don't know. But like Kenny said, the show was great. When I heard Broken Dreams, I was like, oh, you got to put the belt on him. I mean, you can't do montages of floppy haired Drew Galloway. You can't do Drew Galloway in FCW. You can't do the Chosen One. You can't do him coming back and not put the title on him. But at the same time, they find great ways. Like Austin Fury threatening doing the cash in. It was a great usage of Tyson Fury. Because people are like, oh, Tyson Fury? What's Tyson Fury doing there? Tyson Fury was going wham. I was like, that's brilliant. And then Solo Sikoa. That's mine and SB3's guy. We've been watching his rise on NXT. In terms of charisma, they hasn't really let him show that much charisma. He's more of like a stoic, silent killer type That's how he comes across in NXT. He's got a great moveset. He's almost like a grade below of Umaga, if that makes sense, of with explosiveness in the ring. He's got that much potential because he's still getting there, but he's someone to watch out for. Damage Control. I like the music. I'm a very much a sticker for music and factions and groups.
No,
but the fact, Kenny, just in case you didn't know. But Bianca got pinned. That's another big thing. Bianca got pinned in the middle of the ring. I was actually speaking to Laurie from WrestleTalk. I was like, Bianca might get pinned by Bailey, and he goes, "No, they wouldn't do that." And then boom, all three of them doing their moves, and she got pinned. I was like, "See, there you go." Now it's gonna give Bailey a reason to stake a claim on the title. So I can't wait to see them fight. But yeah, and also Sheamus, he looked like the Cardiff flag. He looked like the Welsh flag at the end of the match. He's pasty white and red. I was like, that's the Welsh colours. He's wearing it proud. He got split wide open. And Giovanni Vinci, fuck yes, Vinci. If you don't watch NXT 2.0, shame on you.
It was very confusing. It was very confusing when he came out as Giovanni Vinci and not Fabian Eichner.
No, he wasn't. For people, but we watch. We know who he is.
Oh, of course, we know who he is. So I was like, oh, some things have changed, but not everything. And not everything also applies to none of the UK people won. Like I saw the best tweet. Kenny brought up tweets. The best tweet I saw was before All Out. They was like, imagine I book All Out main event, CM Punk loses, and then Kanye West comes down and sings All Falls Down with him to celebrate a loss. Like, yo, I'm all for y'all. I'm all for y'all having a celebratory moment, even though Drew didn't win. But don't air it on TV. Don't air it for us.
That was an after show thing. That should have been.
That's for y'all, but that came off. This is the closest thing to Lex Luger celebrating a count-out win against Yokozuna at SummerSlam 1993. I will always remember Drew McIntyre and Tyson Fury saying after this man lost the same way everybody else did. It's Solo Sikoa this time. Whoopie-doo. That was like the little thing they put in to make everybody say, like, yeah, he cheated to win, but at least you get a debut. But it's like half the crowd doesn't really even know him, so it didn't come off as well to me. Like I thought the match was great, but the finish was just like, oh, really? That's it?
I mean, they talk about moments. Like they had the best moment they could ever do on a platter, and it's like, and then Drew, them singing American Pie. Tyson Fury's dressed like he's going to Spar to get some bog roll. Like it's just it's a weird image.
I actually missed the sing along because they like as soon as the final bell went, they were telling all the media to go to the press conference.
You lucky.
It was awkward because they went on for so long. I was like, cut the feed, cut the feed.
A funny bit that happened because I was lucky enough to get really good seats at ringside through somebody, which was very nice. But so after the main event, after Austin Theory had got punched out, and the match is finishing, Tyson Theory leaves with his family, and then when Roman Reigns is holding up his belt, like 10 security people were running because oh shit, we need Tyson Fury back. So they're all trying to get him back. So they had to run because I think he was going backstage. They had to run and get him and bring him back because then Tyson starts jogging back through the ringside bit to come and do his walk
for the handshake.
Yeah,
that was awkward.
I saw that bit. I saw the handshake bit, and I was like, "What's happening here? Like, where's this going to go? Or what they're building to?" But
people at the bar thought that Tyson Fury was going to knock out Drew. Like everyone's like, "Who's Tyson going to knock out?" Okay, it's not Roman. Oh no, Drew, watch out! Oh, okay, give him the microphone. Drew, watch out! Oh, they're going to sing a song. Drew, watch out! Okay, nothing.
They did totally ignore the fact that Drew and Tyson have gone at each other relentlessly for like 2 years. And then they just showed the video of them at Clash of the Castle. Like they had Tyson in both their changing rooms beforehand, like all friendly. And I was like, that's a bit weird. And at the press conference, obviously Drew and Tyson are there sitting together. I was like, oh, they're just pals now. I assume that's fine. Can I quickly
ask, is that why?
Also, hang on. On the Brits losing at Clash at the Castle, NXT UK didn't have a good day at Worlds Collide either, did they?
Nope.
Mandy Rose,
pretty deadly one. So that's one. Got one.
Mandy
thing.
Rose, champion of champions. Mandy Rose, Who can believe it? She's the one, guys. She's the one.
Yeah.
Do you think
She's
that's
the
why
one.
they're bringing back Braun Strowman so he can fight Tyson Fury again?
Oh
Fury Strowman
God!
too.
Please don't bring that harm to us. I don't want to talk about that.
Strowman's
I don't
coming
wanna
back.
talk-
Choo choo.
Yeah,
Choo choo. Strowman
fine with
Express.
that. I'm
Sat
fine with that.
knows. Sat knows we're at the end of the show, and he's trying to curse us before he leaves with his
Tonight,
downtrodden
tonight.
opinions.
Tonight. Choo choo.
Exactly. He's just trying to prolong this. But Sheamus and Gunther, best match of the weekend. I was there live for All Out. Love the trios match. Love the main event. Love the Acclaimed versus Swerve in Our Glory. How over the Acclaim was great. And
Match
being
was
there
too long.
live was great experience. But nah, it wasn't. No. The match
should
that
be
was too
2
long
minutes.
was
It should be 2
FTR
minutes.
and Wardlow
Oh, that was
versus
cringe.
Motor City
That was
Machine
cringe.
Guns and
Silence
AEW.
for that match. How you have crickets for a Motor City Machine Gun match? That's how you know you effed up.
Sat, I know when you say something was too long, you didn't watch it. You didn't watch it.
You know what?
You
I
got
watched it.
halfway through.
I watched
you
it.
got
The
halfway
shade.
through, and you fast forward to the end.
I watched it. I watched the whole
I'm
thing.
laughing.
You're
I'm laughing
such a
because
fast
everything's
forwarder. I
right.
can
I'm
tell.
not- No, not for that. I wanted to so badly, but I didn't. I was supporting Max Caster trying to do high flying moves, and look at Max Caster doing his elbow drop outside. Look at Max Caster trying. He
He's trying to make as
tried.
many spots as he can to prove that he won.
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah, I watched the match.
He
I didn't
always
skip
gives
nothing.
himself away.
No, listen. What? I watched the whole thing. Scissor me. The scissored in the end. I was so awkward. Keith, you're here in the match. Why are you scissoring?
Oh, that's one of the greatest accomplishments, being a part of a crowd that changed Bass in My Glory to So Scissor Me Daddy. That was great. That was great.
scissor
Who
me,
thought Billy
Dad.
Gunn would be one of the most over people of this weekend? Like, wild.
Like,
He
Anthony
looked so
Bowens.
baffled by it. He was like, "Oh my god, I'm over in 2022." This is
Anthony
great.
Bowens. Anthony Bowens needs champagne or protein shakes because he got him over.
Kenny, before we wrap up here, my man.
Yes.
RVD, Regal, updates for us. Are we looking good?
Yeah, so Regal sold out both nights.
Woo!
Very excited. I'm also because Regal, when he was walking out of Mox, I was like, look at, he's such a da. Like, he's just a big da. He's just, he's like a mob boss. Like, he's great. RVD's doing well as well. There's still tickets for RVD at itrtext.com. Looking forward to seeing Rob, making sure he is nutritionally taken care of when he is in the UK.
When's the London show for RVD?
Wednesday, the 5th of October.
Sat, are you going to be too big time to come with me to that, or
Are you allowed to come and see an Inside the Rope show?
this is what I'm asking?
Are you allowed?
Can we get that in the contract? The very
I
loose
don't know.
contract
I
you've
don't know
got?
if we created live shows first, but like, are you allowed to come to
What day is it? What day is it on?
Wednesday, the 5th of October?
5th of October. I'm legit not lying. I'm looking after my partner's nan.
It's a very specific excuse. A month away from now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm looking
no.
after my gran in 3 weeks on Tuesday. Right? Okay.
Bring
No,
her.
Just say no. Just
Bring
say you
her.
don't want to come.
No, I do want to come.
She would love RVD. Bring her.
Listen, I'd rather go watch RVD than go look after my partner's dad. I'm saying that on the record.
Isn't it funny? At the beginning of this podcast, he's giving all the big licks and tell me a lie and it's so great to be here. And his excuse for not
It's
coming
not,
to RVD in a
please.
month's time is I need
No.
to look after my partner's nan. Next time it'll be the cat. I need to look after a cat. The
How's
cat's
that
got
booked in for a
Alzheimer's.
month? A month booking in advance. It's incredible.
For a nan.
That's crazy. That's
No,
crazy.
I have to, guys. I'm gonna get in trouble. Like the next one, I'll be there. I don't want to miss this. So please, next one, I'll
But
be
you
there.
I don't want to miss this. You're missing the next one. You've just tripped yourself up.
I don't want to miss like in November or December or January or whenever, Kenny, I'm there.
We won't be talking about January. Yeah, I'll come to the next one.
See, he's saying the truth. He's gonna forget about that. Sat who? Oh,
yeah,
that
all
guy.
you need to do is just the itrtext.com and just get your tickets there. Come along, and it's really, you can buy your own drinks at the bar. You can pay to meet the rest. It's a good time.
It's a very good time. Very good time. I was there with Jericho in London. It was exceptional. And I'll be there again for Rob Van Dam. So come on, guys, come join us. I'll be alone, it looks like. So please come along, be a pal. SB3, what you got on this week, man?
Check out the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. Earlier today, we did an AEW All Out roundtable review going over the matches as well as the post-media scrum. You could decide what you thought was the better show in the comments. And check out True Hill Heat 191 from over the weekend with special guest Kate Elizabeth from Fightful.
For me, Talk Wrestling had 2 radio shows over the weekend, and Kenny McIntosh was my co-host. That went out today at 2 p.m, so you can go back and find that on TalkSport.
We were in a castle. We were in a castle together.
We were. It was a career. Honestly, I said this to Kenny privately. I know he loves this mushy stuff. Career highlight for me, having Kenny beside me in a castle, nonetheless, with the steepest stairs known to man. But it was a good time.
Bad. Come on, it was fine.
My calves are still burning. You must just,
Have you? I mean, if you've not seen Alex McCarthy live in person, right? The tightness of the t-shirt is
right.
My lord,
right?
Yeah,
my guy's bulging.
They're not that tight.
You bulge.
He's like, what t-shirts accentuate the guns? Do you know what I mean? It's impressive. As somebody who has lived my entire life being in between t-shirt sizes, I am envious.
Kenny, you can talk. Kenny, your tits were popping when I first saw you, brother.
I told you, he's got a chest. He knows
your chesticles. You had tight tits like this. You're like, oh, Jericho's about to come out. You're like, hey, look at them titties. I want to squeeze them right there. I was like, can I consensually touch them?
It's and you did touch them without asking. So
I did.
It's gonna be so sad to lose you. I'm just, I mean, I say that you'll probably be back next Monday, on you. It'll last 1 week, but and we'll welcome you back with open arms and never let you forget the fact that you left us.
There you go. That's the answer.
I appreciate that, guys.
But as we wind down, we do want to say, obviously, Sat, man, congratulations, good luck, all of that great stuff. Can't wait to see your next moves. Make sure you keep us all informed, brother. Keep supporting you. Again, very, very proud of the strides you've made thus far. Kenny's writing your termination letter as we speak. I think
I'm waiting for it. You're fire. Support that. That's lovely. Also support Inside the Ropes.
Hold on. I don't want to be disrespectful.
Trademarking and all that stuff. There you go.
Top billing.
No, see, this guy is incredible. But my brothers, thank you so much. I hope Monday Night Live continues to grow. I need a place to come home to, so I hope the house grows bigger and bigger, and great things happen. I love you guys all. I know Ken hates the mushy stuff, but I do. I love you guys.
You're not dying. Like
no.
Like,
but what's
do you know? I'm not. I want to have a rant. Actually, can we go 2 more minutes so I can just have this rant? Right? I'm sick to the back teeth of these fucking members of the public, like Sat, coming out here and doing special announcements and all these shout outs. It's just like, just do the thing. Go and do the thing. Get paid to do the thing. Become the big star that you're going to be, and just do it. Don't bang on about it. You've got charisma. You've got star power. Do you know what RuPaul says? You've got the charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent.
Oh wow!
Listen,
hey, Mayor Painsville Dan, what's your super chat? What's your super chat? Yeah.
Listen, let me do my hosting duties, man.
I'm sorry. Look at me. I'm losing all professionalism that you taught me over the 2-year period. I'm sorry.
I was literally just about to say that's a great segue into this final super chat. And what the fuck? You're trying to kill me on your way out, right? Mayor Painsville Dan says, "Hello everyone. I hope you're doing well. Sat, you are a superhuman." There you go. You are the best. I love you, and I love you all. Sat, this is yours for the taking. Wow.
Thank you.
What a multifaceted message that is. Love that.
Sat, did I tell you I got you a gift? I actually got you a gift.
No, what is
Let me just get it for you. Hold on 1 second.
There you go. While Kenny does that, it's worth noting that we are going to continue the show. We're not sure if we're going to get a replacement or not, but the plan is to continue Monday Night Live. So fear not, everyone. We will be hanging around. Kenny, what you got?
I thought I want to. Who do I see you aspiring to be? So I've got you an LJN Captain Lou Albano figure.
That's a great gift. Look at that.
I mean, and then if you look at it, look how terrifying that is.
Do you know how often Sat has said to me he'd like one of those? Do you know how often?
Look, wait a minute. Look, go and support him. Where is he? He's up there.
Billy.
He's up there. Go support him. at Wrestle Talk.
On
Also,
that note-
I've got an Elite Don Morocco up for sale
That's the Rock, Don Morocco. That's the Rock.
because
Wow.
I bought it and it's not an Elite Mattel. It's a Jax Classic Superstar. So I got shafted on that one in Nashville.
Nashville. Damn you. Thank you very much to everyone that's tuned in. Remember, share, like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. ITR Clips is your hookup. Thank you so much to everyone who has been supporting us the past few months. Long may it continue. Until then, make sure Inside the Ropes YouTube channel, a lot of our content from this weekend has been going up on there, and you can see more of that in the coming days. So it's a sad goodbye for Sati Niangi, but we will see you next week for Monday Night Live.
We're out of time. I am forever.
We only
I've
got
left,
4
it
minutes.
I've left it running so you could actually do that this week.
We're out of time.